This is your 9th studio album and it's got a very original concept. You've got 5 different characters on the album. Can you tell me about where that inspiration came from?
Well, sometimes I think we as women don't realize how complicated we are. And you may have an image as beautiful as it is, there might be other sides to you that you haven't allowed to, I don't know, explore, whether your girlfriends accept one side of you and then your parents accept another side, but if they saw you coming home in a certain way, say wearing rubber, as Pip does, then they might not be so comfortable with that side of you, but it's still there. And so I really wanted to explore the different sides of myself that live in here.
You did a fair bit of research about Greek mythology. How do the characters relate to Greek characters?
I patterned all the dolls after one of the goddesses on the Greek pantheon. So Athena is really expressed with the character Pip, and each of the girls, is Santa, for example, holds Aphrodite. So yes, I did a lot of research about what these women were made up of, and what fascinated me was the definitions that sometimes we have as who we are as women. They're so simplified, and yet these Greek ladies were very complex.
And on your website you have a blog for each of the characters. How do you find that kind of internet relates with your music now and you're able to speak to your fans on a different level?
Well, this is a multimedia project. And it seemed to me that if I were going to take the characters out of portraiture, so outside of just their pictures and their sonic expression with the music, once I brought them live, everything would change. And it has. They're relating to different people, and some of them have their own fan clubs, really. It seemed to me also that having the blogs, having a journal for each of them, would be one more step in developing them. And so it does take a lot of energy to write the journals, but it's something that I think does kind of make it a whole work in a way.
At a recent Melbourne concert, you sang about Britney Spears. Firstly, what was the inspiration for that particular song, and do you think she's trying to explore different facets of her personality?
The motivation for singing is that a song was written right before the show that I thought was accurate about the situation. That, yes, she was set up in a way, but she set herself up. I make choices, you make choices, she makes choices, and nobody's making you self-destruct. You are choosing to self-destruct. So why do you choose that? Well, if you don't know yourself and you don't know different facets of yourself, then they start unraveling in a public way, and you start flashing people. I mean, we've seen it in women that have a midlife crisis. All of a sudden, there's some woman that is very respected at work, and she's dancing half naked down the street, and you're thinking, okay, weren't there other ways to do this? I mean, you can always push a Catherine Deneuve. I mean, you can always do it in a very sensual, sexy way. You don't have to emotionally defecate on yourself in front of millions of people. But then you have to ask yourself, why does somebody choose to do that? And the reason is because they've never really done any work on themselves. So American Doll Posse is really about allowing yourself to explore other sides that maybe my parents would not be okay about. My friends would not be very welcoming to some of these women. And that's why I did it. I needed to do it for me, and these women are all part of who I am.